Hey, it's Josie here. I'm a revitalizing, thriving menopause coach, and I help professional women 35 plus overcome their menopausal symptoms and thrive just using natural remedies. This journey of perimenopause or menopause is a journey that every woman will experience at some point of their life. There is no choice of saying that, or you want to choose not to have it. There's no option because basically, when the estrogen starts declining, you start having symptoms and your body changes. So, the symptoms range from hot flashes, fatigue, sleepless nights, anxiety, and other symptoms that are very uncommon. Things like balding in the middle of the head or all over your head. You can have bald patches. Some people have itchy skin, or you can actually develop a rash from nowhere and you don't know what it is until you visit the GP, and then they've done the test and just say to you, it could be menopause. Yes, this is a journey that most women wish they could remove from their lifespan. However, you cannot. So, as a menopausal woman, myself, I've been through that journey. And for me, it started at the age of 46 when I started having fatigue and then hot flashes. I was having all these symptoms that I thought it was stress, but it was anxiety caused by menopause. And I wasn't aware of what those symptoms were because although I have older siblings, it's a subject that they never discussed at all. So I wasn't aware what was going on. I was just thinking, I don't know, is it age? What is going on? I wasn't even sure until I visited my GP and they told me that I was now in perimenopause. And then they explained what the whole thing was about the journey, and they offered me some conventional medication, which I declined because I prefer using natural remedies to manage any symptoms. So, ladies, if you're going through perimenopause or menopause, you don't have to do this journey alone because you can get support or information that will help you manage your symptoms. And it's not only about managing the symptoms that's important in this journey. You also need to have the right mindset. I've heard quite a lot of people, whether it's family members or colleagues, saying that they literally were so stressed out about going through this process of midlife. And they thought their lives were ending. They thought it was the end of their normal life, that they were a mess and all these things. It's quite understandable how people feel that, because this journey could be very overwhelming as women to go through it. Because the tiredness, for example, when you have fatigue, menopausal fatigue, you feel like you've been hit by a bus, the menopausal bus. You can't do anything. Your energy is so low. You don't feel yourself. There is a battle in your mind, anxiety, and also feeling like you're failing. Yet it's not your fault. It's a common journey that every woman will go through in their lives. So this is normal. The difference is how to go through the journey. It helps speaking to people. It helps when you get support. And also to be open, especially in your family, to be open, because your partner, you could be snapping at your partner, you could be snapping at the kids because you're not yourself, you're anxious, you're stressed out. And they'll be wondering what is going on, what is changing, what is it that's happening to you? So if you don't communicate how you're feeling, menopausal symptoms, and the way you manage it can end up affecting your family life. So you need to have the right balance with your family and also at work. There are people whereby when they're going through this midlife journey, work becomes very difficult. Going to work, especially if you're working 9 to 5, they will not be able to go to work. They are so exhausted. They're dealing with the hot flashes, anxieties shooting up the roof. There's so much that is involved when you're going through perimenopause or menopause. So seeking help is quite important. At work, you can speak to colleagues, and some companies now have departments that actually support women going through the menopausal journey or perimenopause. Before, it was a taboo to mention menopause because people were not getting it. Other people were just judging women that, you're being lazy at work, or you're just being, funny, or you're just not interested in putting in your hours to actually work. But you know what? Sometimes it's so bad, the symptoms, that other women take time out from work. I know of colleagues who've taken time off, like a year or 2 years off work, because they can't manage the symptoms of menopause. So it's something that is very, very crucial. It's very important to know how it affects the women, how menopause affects women, and also what help you can get, what support you can get, whether at work, whether at home, whether it's an individual reaching out to people that can support. It's so important because it makes a great difference. And the other thing that I need to talk about is that your mindset as a menopausal woman is very important. Shifting your menopausal mindset to knowing that this journey is actually normal, that you're not alone. It's very important to know that you are not the only one going through this journey. You have other women, thousands, if not millions of women across the world are going through the menopausal journey in their own different ways. Some are affected by the basic ones, the most common, like fatigue and, anxiety And also some women have hot flashes. Hot flashes is the most common one that people experience when they are into perimenopause, and then for some it can continue till menopause and postmenopause. There are people in their 60s who are still experiencing hot flashes, fatigue, sleepless nights, anxiety, joint pain. Did you know that joint pain can be a menopausal symptom? Yes, people have pain in their joints, in their fingers, in their knees. It is a menopausal symptom that many women experience during this midlife journey. However, what's important is how to manage your symptoms naturally. How to naturally manage your symptoms so you can avoid being on medications that will have side effects for life. Other people that have been put on conventional medication have ended up having worse symptoms than what they had before. They've ended up with other conditions that they did not bargain for. So it's very crucial to use natural remedies. That's what I chose when I was offered conventional medication. I said no to it because I'd read about it and I knew that I might be one of those people that might end up with all these symptoms that will make the condition or the journey worse than better. So I went the natural way. And today I can say confidently that I'm a thriving menopausal woman. I've gone through the journey and I've come out on the other side, thriving. So I'm here to help other women that are starting the journey, whether it's perimenopause or if you're into menopause or postmenopause with symptoms. So I'm here to support women going through that journey because I've walked through it. I know it. I hear you. I understand what you're feeling. And I'm here to support you through this journey so that you can thrive and live your life again, so that you can become you again. Because this journey of menopause, of midlife journey, is different, is very different from when we were in our 20s and 30s. You feel it, that you're not the same anymore. So I understand that because I've been through it. However, there is a solution to make you smile again, to make you create time to have your me time, to take those walks that you need or that you've now neglected because of your symptoms, to take time out to go to that spa and have your pampering and literally feel the difference, because your body is not the same anymore. Your body is going through a transformation. Your body is changing as a menopausal woman. Your body is not like how it was before. So it needs more gentle care. When you understand that, it's a game changer. When you know that this journey is normal, it's midlife journey, which every woman goes through, and there is support for you. You don't have to do it alone. When you understand that and know that, you become a free woman. You become a woman that is energized and free. The freedom is insane, ladies, when you know that you can go through it naturally and managing your symptoms and thriving and getting your smile back as a menopausal woman. Yes, it's possible. It is possible to actually thrive in this journey. It's fantastic when you get the right support, when you focus on you and not be running around like a headless chicken, looking after everybody else, supporting everyone else, and putting yourself last. That is one thing I learned, ladies, that in your midlife journey, you need to prioritize yourself. It's you first, then everybody else comes into the picture. I'm not saying neglect your family life. I'm not saying neglect your children or neglect your work life, but have a balance and think of yourself. Because most women, we run around as mothers, whether you're a mother or not, as mothers, as women, we have that nurturing spirit or nurturing characteristic whereby it's others all the time. What can I do for this person? What can I help? How can I help this person? How can I make this person happy? How can I do this and that so everybody is happy? But in midlife, ladies, it all changes. It all changes because you are not yourself anymore. So you need to focus on who you are, what your needs are, what you really want this journey to look like. When I reflected after being told I was going through perimenopause, I said to myself, I need to put myself first. I could see all the things that I was doing for everybody and putting everyone. And you're going through the journey, you are overwhelmed, you're so busy, and you realize that you don't have the energy anymore. The energy, the fatigue that comes with going through midlife is a lot. What of you not sitting down, not not looking after yourself and just constantly on your feet, constantly doing this, constantly doing that? Yeah. You realize that you are not yourself. So you need to prioritize yourself, prioritize your me time, prioritize looking after yourself and changing your mindset. I remember on my 50th birthday, my hubby booked holiday to Florida, America. Yes. Oh, it was like amazing. I was looking like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And on the plane, to Florida. I wasn't myself. I had these hot flashes. I was feeling fatigued, and I couldn't even tell him that this is what I was going through. So it's important, ladies, to also tell your partners, like I said in the beginning, your family, your partners, they will understand and know what you're going through. I didn't even tell my husband that this is what I was feeling and going through. And I was on that flight, and he booked a premium seats. It was like, whoa, on the outside. When I look at the pictures now, it was like, I looked so happy. I'm someone that smiles all the time. And I was smiling, the usual smile. But deep down, I was in pain. I was struggling. I was overwhelmed, but did not say it. Can you imagine that? And it's only later on that I told my husband, later, after a couple of years, and I was saying to myself on that flight, who am I? What is going on with my body? What is it? What's this? Is this going to end at all? Am I just going to be living life like this? This is not normal. Yeah? That's how I was thinking. So ladies, be encouraged to open up about this journey you're going through, whether it's perimenopause or menopause. Opening up relieves you as well. It helps, it relieves you to actually know and feel normal, that you're talking to other people. You are not hiding what you're going through. And later on, I remember that I was speaking to my colleagues later on, after going through, the really rough time of menopausal symptoms, trying to manage it. I remember talking to my colleagues at work and realized that they were going through the same thing as well. So we made it a point, like when it's lunchtime, when we meet, we discuss how we are feeling, advising each other, hugging each other, and sobbing together, like literally crying, like, oh, what's going to happen? Are we going to be normal again? That was in the early stages. So it helps so much for you to open up to people you trust, obviously, because some people are very judgmental, because they can start saying other things like you're lazy, you're being lazy, you're this, you're that, and talk about brain fog, which is one of the most common menopausal symptoms, whether perimenopause or menopause. You could go into a room knowing what you were going to get. Oh, I'm going to pick up a pen so that I can go to another room to write something. And guess what? When you go into that room, you completely forget what you went into that room for. And you start feeling really bad, really awful. Like, oh my gosh, what's going on with me? Am I going crazy? Am I going mad? What's happening with my life? Will I recover from this? Am I losing my memory? No, you're not losing your memory, because brain fog is one of those common menopausal symptoms. And after going into the room and you forget, you go out, you go into the passage and you think, what was it? By the way, what was it? What was it? I can't remember. And then probably 3 minutes later, or even 5 minutes, you remember what you start remembering. Oh yeah, it was the pen that I went in to get. And I completely forgot that I wanted to get a pen from that room. Yes, this is menopausal journey. It is a journey that's very unique to women only. Only women go through menopause, you know that, right? Perimenopause. Yeah, it's a journey that we go through and it's very unique. However, like I said, it's knowing how to manage during this journey. It's not an easy journey, but you can go through it in a normal way. You can thrive again. You can feel yourself again. You can remember the early days of suffering with these symptoms or struggling with these symptoms. And then when you are now thriving, you look back and think, wow, what a journey. Yes, it can be difficult in the beginning, or you can go through many years. I went through many years of suffering with it, with the symptoms, but later on found natural ways of managing my symptoms. Yes, ladies, we're in this together. You are not alone. Support is very crucial in this journey, and many women are going through it, through this journey all over the world. What's important is knowing yourself. What has changed? How are you feeling? Keep a diary as well. Some people keep a journal. Like I had a journal. I had to start journaling my journey. Keep a journal on a daily basis. And that will help you offload the stress in your head onto a journal, onto a book. Write it down. Today, this happened. Today, I felt like this, like that, And when you journal things and look back at it, when you are now going through the support that has been available or been given to you, when you've spoken to other people going through the journeys, or whoever you've spoken to and reached out that have gone through the same journey and knows how to manage it, you will feel yourself again. When you write it down, there is power in documenting your symptoms so that you can track it, where you started, where you're at, and where you want to be, which is very important because as women, we don't want to be stuck in just suffering with the symptoms. We want to have that normal life back, which is very important. When you have the normal life back, you can now be able to look back and support other women going through the journey, or even understand. It's so important to understand when other women are telling you this is happening and that is happening. They're not sure what's happening and they're stressed out. You will be in a position to actually understand them, be a support for them. And also the other thing that I want to say is that community is very important when you're going through menopause. Having a community around you, not only your family and friends, but community. There are certain places where people go, You know, it could be in the gym, it could be in a class, it could be, you know, local events that you go to in your community. It's very important, whether it's church. Some people find support in church. It's very important because you will find other women going through the same symptoms that you're going through as a menopausal woman. Yes, it's common, but you can get support and help so that you can thrive throughout the journey.